Hey folks, what I'm going to talk about tonight then is kind of, I've been on YouTube for 4 years now. Today's my 4-year anniversary. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you 5 sort of bits of advice or 5 things that I've learned that I would pass on to you if you're starting a YouTube channel. Little bits of kind of nuggets of information I wish somebody had kind of shared with me. And the first one is that equipment doesn't matter except until it does. And what I mean by that is, I think a lot of people maybe see kind of the quality of my stream and the quality of my videos. They might look at sort of huge big YouTube channels. They might look at the channels that do back reports with kind of like 10 different cameras dotted about and stuff. And they might think one of two things. They might think, I'm just not even going to start it. I can't afford it. I can't afford to buy all that stuff. Or they might think, I need to buy all of that stuff to start. And that's just not the case. The equipment does not matter as much as you think. When I first started my YouTube channel, I literally recorded my first couple of videos. I think I recorded the first one on my phone. I think I recorded the second one on a GoPro that I had. And essentially, I could have probably stuck with those things for a long, long time. But I didn't. I kind of saw the kind of the story eyes once I got a few subscribers and thought I needed new cameras and all sorts of stuff. And I bought a lot of equipment that probably wasn't needed. And what happens is over a period of time, over a number of years, you get to a point actually where you know in order to improve things, you've reached the limits of the equipment you've got. That's the point in time when you should start to think about other equipment. If you've got a mobile phone with a camera on it these days, like if I go back 4 years ago, the camera wasn't fantastic on my mobile phone. The camera on my phone now is excellent. If you've got like a relatively recent phone that you've had in the last year or two, the quality of the video camera for that will be really good. I would say potentially maybe buy like a lapel mic or something that would plug into your phone, because I think sound quality is actually sometimes much more important than visual quality. If your camera isn't great, people will still watch it, but if your sound is awful, people just won't watch or listen. So my point is basically don't go out and buy loads of cameras. Don't go out and buy expensive gear and fancy lights and all that kind of stuff. The biggest improvement you can get is learning to use the equipment you've got the best you can. And your first videos will probably be awful, and you will subsequently get better. And no amount of money you spend on equipment will make those videos any better, because you're still learning what to do. So yeah, the first piece of advice I would give you is don't go out and spend a fortune. Literally, use what you've got until you can't use that anymore, really. The second thing I would give a bit of advice is stay true to your passion. When you first start out, if you're doing something creative, be that you want to have a YouTube channel where you're painting miniatures and showing off what you do, you might want to have a podcast about your favorite game or whatever that is. Whatever your kind of creative pursuit that you're going to do is, you're obviously passionate about something that you want to kind of share with the communities online, you want to share with the world. And it's that passion that people will want to subscribe to. It's that passion that people will want to watch. If you're just doing something purely just to get clicks on a video because you know a certain topic will generate more views, for example, your lack of authenticity, or your lack of passion, or your lack of interest, or your lack of knowledge will shine through, and basically it's not going to do you any favors in the long run. If you go chasing kind of views on topics that you're not that interested in, you will eventually get bored. You'll get sick of it. If you start just chasing kind of like controversial topics just to get views, you will get views, but you'll feel drained by surrounding yourself with negativity. Whatever the reason is that you want to start, just stick with it. Even if it's not the most successful, make sure it's something that you're passionate about. I've stuck with my passion from day one, and I potentially could have grown faster if I talked about more popular games, if I talked about sort of more controversial subjects. But I still absolutely love doing this, and now it's my job. I absolutely I get up every day and love making content. If I was doing it for the views, I think I'd have probably given up a long time ago. So yes, stick with your passion, stick with what your vision is, and just really give everything to that and steer the path. Really, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You can't analyze everything on each video. You have to kind of set a target, go for that target, and just keep going. So yeah, stick with your passion. The next one I would say is don't overthink things. Just do it. Make your video, make your podcast, sort of do your tutorial, whatever it is. Just do whatever it is, and then move on. Don't obsess over it. Don't worry about it. Some of the most successful videos that I've done have come from ideas that I thought weren't good enough. And just because I'm overthinking it, thinking I need to get these it needs to be a really popular topic. It needs to be something that people want to watch. Sometimes the simplest ideas are the most popular. The video I made about doing the walk ride terrain seemed like a stupid idea to me at the time. When I was in the middle of filming, I can vividly remember it now. I was in the middle of filming it, and I actually stopped at one point. I thought, surely everybody, people will know this kind of stuff. They don't need me to kind of show them how to build terrain. Like, if I know how to do it, I'm sure people can do it themselves as well. And I thought, you know what it is? I'm halfway through doing this. I might as well finish it now. And what that video taught me was, one, it's done 60,000 views now or something. But what it taught me is that if you can think of something that you find useful or you find helpful, other people out there will also find it useful or will find it helpful. And if you can save them a little bit of time, if you can help people out, people will watch that kind of stuff. It's the kind of video people will share with their friends. They'll share it with their groups. So don't overthink stuff. Don't think everything has to be a masterpiece. Not everything needs to be some kind of Sundance Film Festival documentary. Sometimes the simplest ideas are the ones that are the most successful. So yeah, don't overthink it. Just literally do it, move on and do the next one. If you obsess over one individual video, you'll just end up never making videos enough. And one thing that you have to do making videos or making podcasts or painting, kind of commission painting, whatever it is, you need to just keep going. You need to keep momentum going, and you need to keep going. So yeah, don't overthink it. Just do it and move on. The next one I would say is, and this is something I've definitely had to deal with a bit more over the last, I would say the last year to 18 months as the channel's popularity started to pick up a little bit. And it's don't take things personally. If you talk about your viewpoint, if you kind of put yourself out there and say what you believe in, if you put something out there and say, here's a tutorial on how to paint something, or here's a piece of terrain that I've built, people will criticize it. That's just life. We live in an age now where whatever you put out there, somebody will disagree with it. Somebody will think it's wrong. And you have to realize that these people don't know you personally. They're not really having a dig at you. I mean, some people might, and if they're trolling you for personal things, like the way you sound, the way you look, that kind of thing, just block and just don't even listen to them people. But if they're criticizing your painting style, if they're criticizing your content, if they're criticizing your ideas or your discussions, that's just because they don't agree. They just have a different viewpoint, and you have to really you've got to really take it down and remember that we're all different. We all have different viewpoints, and don't take it personally. They don't know you to really have that kind of criticism of you. They are just having an opinion on something you've said. And as my videos get more views, and as the live streams get more popular and that kind of stuff, I had to basically get to that point where you just say, look, don't take it personally. Just do your stuff. Do it and move on, because you could get 1,000 likes on a video, or 1,000 really nice comments, and you'll say thank you very much to all of them, and it's nice to hear. But it's that one negative comment that kind of gets you between the ribs, and you can kind of overanalyze it and stuff, and think, well, what did I do wrong, and what do they mean by that? A lot of stuff gets lost in text. And just because you know the way you mean something doesn't mean the other person takes it the same way. So you kind of have to get broad shoulders. You got to get thick skin. But just remember, don't take it personally. It's not aimed at you personally. It's just different points of view, and it's really difficult to have a discussion when it's just kind of text backwards and forwards, or like Facebook is awful for that kind of stuff. Because things just get taken out of context when text is involved. So yeah, don't take things personally. And the last thing, the fifth thing I want to do, and I think is the most important of anything, any piece of advice I could give you, is care. You have to care about what you're doing. If you don't care, why are you doing it? It's a hobby first and foremost. Like I've done this for 4 years now, and I started doing it because I was really interested in doing it, and I kept doing it because I cared about it. I cared about the people that watch the videos. The biggest part for me is building a community around this whole thing. The videos are almost just a vehicle to keep the community going, to keep topics coming, to keep people motivated, to bring in new people, to encourage beginners, to encourage people that have maybe had some time away from the hobby. It's always been about the community side of things for me, and I've really enjoyed that aspect of it. And if I didn't really care about the community, that would be really transparent. I would come across as very kind of like a bit two-faced, and it would show. It would show that I just didn't care and I was just doing this for the clicks or whatever it was. So I think the most important thing is you need to care. If you don't care about what you're doing, kind of reevaluate it and maybe do something else, because you do need to care. You do need to care. So those are kind of 5 tips that I would give you. If anybody has anything else or you have any questions, please pop them down in the comments. Thank you to every single person who has ever watched, has ever kind of watched one of my videos, has ever liked or disliked one of my videos, has ever commented, has ever donated on a live stream, has ever bought a t-shirt. All of my Patreons, it's you lot that's kind of kept me going for 4 years and got me to this point. It's you lot that's enabled me to leave a job that sucked the soul out of my life and be able to do this full time and spend time with my family, and really look towards a much brighter future. So thank you very much to every single one of you, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching my video. I hope that you really enjoyed it. And if you did, why not consider clicking on the suggested video below to see more of the work that I've done. If you'd like to support the long-term sustainability of this channel, why not consider checking out my Patreon, where you can pledge and support from as little as $2 a month. And there is lots of different tiers and bonuses, which will give you access to a private Discord server. It will give you free t-shirts, free mugs, a podcast every month, and a number of other things, including getting your name at the end of every video, like these awesome folks who already support me now.